Hello everyone, welcome back to the Fast Quest Podcast, where we talk about video games and more. I am your host, Guy, joined by my fellow co-host, Connor.
Hello.
Brewer.
Hey, what's up everybody?
And Liam.
Hello. So, boys, I've been playing this game recently that I think all of us should try.
Sure. What is it?
Maidenless Star Impact.
Wait, isn't that the, super predatory gacha game that's literally giving people, gambling addictions?
No, you can get everything if you grind. No money needs to be spent.
Cool. This so-called, get everything from playing the game. How many hours in it do you have in particular? Because just curious.
Not that many, just a little over 200 hours.
Okay, well, how many 5-star characters have you collected? Surely, maybe 10, right?
2.
Only 2? Are you...
Dude, only 2? How?
2 how, Liam?
That's one character per 100 hours played.
Dude, okay, you can get everyone. You have to grind a lot, of course, but you also have to have good RNG.
Bro, you're gonna be grinding in your deathbed.
Dog, if you want to play something good where you have to grind for RNG something and you want to play, actually feel rewarded, play fucking Monster Hunter. Bringing us into today's topic, we're going to be talking about RNG. What is it, and how is it a bad and good thing in video games? All talked about in today's episode. So, boys, I wanted to make this discretion right quick, saying that RNG is probably my favorite thing, but also my least favorite thing of ever. I hate, love it at the same time.
I mean, that just goes for everyone. You love it when it's in your favor, you hate it when it's not.
Me when I get 5 shinies in a row. Yippee! RNG! Yippee! Me when I have to spend 500 hours looking for a shiny legendary. I want to kill myself!
You don't even know the whole story, Connor. That was me.
Shiny
God, that is a beautiful story.
Shiny Lugia!
Yeah, well, that's for later tonight.
But yeah, for those who don't know, RNG is typically for, it's an anagram for it's an abbreviation for random number generation, or pretty much you have a computer, roll some numbers, and it's a random chance of a certain outcome happening. So, a very common one that people know is shiny Pokemon. In the newer generations, it's about a 1 in 4,000 chance to encounter shiny Pokemon, which are different colored sprites. You have critical hits in Pokemon, which is about, depending on your stats and whatnot, it's about a 7% chance, if I remember correctly. The point is that these are outcomes that only happen by chance, and it's stuff you usually cannot affect by yourself.
Yeah, well, I think something to mention as well with a random number generator is computers, they can never be random. They read things as always 1s and 0s. So while we can say it's random because it's always going to give us a different result, it's not truly random. That's what a random number generator is for. The way a game is programmed, depending on what actions you have and depending on what the game is set to do, you can sometimes control the actions, or there's going to be different seeds that will affect how your playthrough is going to go. So those critical hits Guy mentioned, chance to find a shiny, maybe a chance to get a rare item in the game, all those are going to be dependent on the random number generator. Because again, computers are terrible at being random.
Yes, this is true. And yeah, the thing is that if you think about it, RNG is kind of in every video game that you play, even if even the least suspecting places possible. Brewer, I know what comes to mind for you is a certain amount of hammers that spawn in Super Mario Bros., the first one specifically.
Yeah, well, I was also going to mention stuff like NPCs, what direction they go in sometimes, what way they turned. That can be affected by a random number generator as well. like extremely minor stuff, but all of it is usually affected by just the in-game code, like at its foundation.
Yeah, and like it. You first.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about how like I was kind of gonna expand on the fact that like nothing is really random because it's a computer and a computer has to go through like a code. So like one of the most like it's not really like a big deal, but one of my least favorite examples is the random system in Smash Ultimate, where you pick random and it doesn't actually pick a random character. It goes based on playtime, and which means that like it's not even random. They're choosing characters that you don't play as much instead of giving you an actual random assortment of characters, which is stupid.
Yeah, it's really dumb because it means I play a lot of Mega Man when we do random friendlies, and that makes me want to die.
I get Pac-Man all the time.
It really
I swear.
sucks because like the whole point of going random is so that you don't have to choose. But like if you do random, you should theoretically get both kind of not fun characters but also fun characters. But when it goes off playtime and it isn't, and you're not going to play the characters you don't like and have fun with, but because it's based off playtime, it means that more than likely or not, you're gonna get characters that are just not fun for you to play.
I just thought of something. If you remember how I was mentioning, look, with the random number generators, a lot of them can be affected by your in-game actions. It's just usually very minuscule to the point you'll never notice.
Yeah.
I'm thinking there is RNG manipulation. It's very popular in like Pokemon and a lot of like for speedrunning purposes and like even Mario Bros and whatnot. But if you were going into a tournament that was like entirely for random, could you theoretically like log onto your Switch beforehand, play with a shit ton of characters you absolutely hate, and there's now less of a chance that you will get them in a random tournament? Like, could you RNG manipulate your Smash tourney results?
Maybe that's why guys like, what is it, like number one top 100?
I'm 99 on the. Well, okay, this was like a previous ranking. Little side tangent, really funny. When it came to the Smash Ultimate power rankings for like the world, when it came to the character random, like no specific character, not even my own main, literally the random select, I was in the top 100 for random in tournaments. And I don't know how it happened, but I guess y'all figured me out. That's how I've been winning my random tournaments. I only use my Switch for setups, and I play all the shitty characters like Pac-Man and Mega Man, and all those really weird, obscure characters, so that I can play my main Joker more often. You found me out.
Yeah, I just want to imagine, like, right before the tournament starts up, like, you look at his Switch, and you look at each of his characters' playtimes. He has, like, 100 matches with, like, Pac-Man, Mega Man, and, like, Ganondorf, but then 0 matches with his main Joker, and it's like, oh, that's kind of weird.
Go, Joker, for your entire tournament.
Oh my god. If only RNG worked like that. Oh god.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that easy to manipulate, but it is kind of funny to think that, like, yeah, I'll play each character 1,000 times except my main.
And therefore, I will get my name.
Yeah, I wish RNG manipulation was that easy, but it's fun to think about like that in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to sort of go back on topic, I feel like it's just so stupid to do, because I mean, I know for me and Guy, when we do random, we used to do random free-for-alls and random friendlies, but because we keep getting such terrible characters in random, we've kind of just stopped doing it and have just chosen characters we want to play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's as bad in Smash because, like, you know, it has a massive freaking roster. But, like, it would still be nice if it was truly random, or more so, like, decided in a way a lot of other fighting games decide random. Like, when you're starting up the game, if you press certain buttons, like, that will affect it, and you'll get a random seed generated when you even boot up the game in the first place. That will decide what characters are going to be randomly selected. You know, that type of stuff. Like, how many times did you press up? Or how many which directions did you wiggle your joystick in? How will that affect the random number generation? That type of stuff.
You were talking about seed generation there, and that sort of I was kind of wanting to talk about, like, I guess how it sort of impacts speedruns too, which I know that might sound like a weird way to transition those two topics, but a very popular
No, that's very good.
Popular game to speedrun that also uses seed generation, Minecraft, which it has a rough speedrun history, especially with RNG. A certain "that's what the point of the mask is" moment.
Oh man, I just got 30 ender pearls in a row. That's crazy.
Me trading with the piglin, and he gives me an entire truckload of ender pearls. Wowee, guys, I'm so lucky.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
Yeah, but Minecraft, at least speedrun wise, is a very RNG dependent thing, to where it will literally make or break your runs. If you get a bad seed generation, reset. If you can't get enough ender pearls in time, reset. If you don't get enough blaze rods to make ender pearls or eyes of ender, reset. It's very, like, when you see a world record run, yes, it is skill, but a lot of that also does come down to, like, luck with their seed generations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I hate that RNG does play a really big factor in a game like that, because, like, it is very skill based in terms of, like, what you can do and what you have to do in such a short amount of time. But I do understand, like, why it is like that, though. It's very impressive to see, but it's also just like, damn, there's so many factors that can prevent you from being, like, the world record holder.
I mean, that goes for a lot of games. Even some, like, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, which you wouldn't think would be affected as RNG as much. Like, a lot of the world records you see are, like, from doing thousands of attempted runs to, like, have the AI do something that's, like, a, like, 0.05% chance of happening, but then also having the necessary skill to actually execute the plan for that when it does eventually happen.
Yeah.
It happens in way more games than you think of, instead of just Minecraft.
Is speedrunners sort of have this funny little thing with RNG where they have basically delved into the game so much where they find RNG where they wouldn't think RNG is. But, like, certain games like Minecraft, RNG is a part of the process. You're not going to try and speedrun Minecraft on random seed and expect to get winning seeds every time. If you don't want RNG, there are categories to not get RNG, but the most popular speedrun is entirely based on luck, because Minecraft is a game about randomness. You get a random world, you spawn on a random location in that world, and everything you need is in an area you don't know yet. It's all about exploration and discovery, and that's a cool aspect of RNG.
Yeah, I mean, most runs end in, like, the first 10 minutes, or not even first 2 minutes. Just
the first minute, you don't get near.
Yeah, just decided on, like, where you spawned.
Lava pool or ruined portal or village, you reset.
Yeah, that's why. That's actually, like, not in the speedrun sense, but I really like the RNG in Minecraft, because personally, for us, we started a Minecraft world recently, and we got the God Seed, it seems, which, pretty crazy.
That's also a beauty of, like, a game like Minecraft, where it's like, because our seed was different compared to the last, each playthrough is going to be different, no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, we literally have, like, a trials, like, right next to where we set up our house, which is really funny.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and I think Minecraft is one of the, like, games that utilizes RNG the best, in my opinion, because, like, okay, when you play the game, you don't realize it has as much RNG as you think, because, like, oh, I just gotta set up this, set up that, and, like, oh, I can build a house here, but it's like all of the, like, the seeds and the biomes that are being generated in front of you are completely RNG. Like, there is a computer with ones and zeros, like, going back and forth, creating all of that. and it's like, wow, this is making my playthrough unique. It's making it different compared to my last, and it's an experience I've never had before. And it's also one of the biggest reasons why Minecraft is one of my favorite games, is because it always feels fresh to me.
Yeah, that's really true. Like, no world is really ever the same. There's always going to be a difference.
Well, I think too, it's always just crazy to me too at just like how much gets made and generated in real time. Like you fly across the world with Elytra or in creative mode, and like all those chunks keep getting spawned, generated in real time. It's like that's crazy, since you can interact with every single block that gets generated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
a lot of things go into it.
Yeah. But Minecraft, as we all know, isn't the only game with RNG. In fact, there's an entire genre of games that, are very, like, notoriously impacted by RNG and stuff like that. Which, that would be RPGs.
Yay!
I love when I can't beat the boss because the protagonist decided, no, I'm not gonna crit this time.
Here's the thing, though.
Connor, when his character doesn't crit 10 times in a row, this is bullshit.
That's why Junpei might go, because he does crit 10 times in a row.
Yeah, he does kind of do that.
Here's the thing about RPGs. I think a lot of people kind of forget, like, because they strategize so well that they kind of forget that RPGs can even have RNG, because like your strategy is so good that you guarantee damage and whatnot. Like a lot of competitive Pokemon players, they obviously have to take RNG into a factor when they are playing the game, but like they know they're like damage scaling so much that it's like, wow, RNG, this is like completely dependent on whether or not I play well or not. RNG is like a second factor that they consider, you know what I mean? It's not the primary.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I think RPGs in particular, I think RNG is kind of an X factor.
Could you explain what you mean by that?
Well, think about it like this. When you're going into a fight, like you grinded for a pretty decently a long time, you're about to fight this boss fight that has been, built up for the past few hours, and you deal a critical hit to them. You feel powerful because not only is that a new highest damage number that you've seen from the game, but also that's indicating to you that you are doing something right. Not only that, but when a boss fight does a crit, when the boss itself does a crit or gets really good RNG for something, you also are like, what? I didn't know this could happen. It creates oh shit moments, and I think that it adds to the tension. Like,
yeah,
it's artificial tension, don't get me wrong, but it's tension nonetheless.
Me, when I'm trying to beat the Pokemon gym and I get crit, it feels bad, man.
Yeah, I mean, you always need some level of push and pull to put you on edge, because if you can always predict every single move and know exactly what's going to happen, it just doesn't make things as interesting.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree.
Yeah, and it's so good. It really is.
But there are times when I feel like, especially in RPGs, where it can be a little much. And I know we've talked about this before, but the way RNG works in Persona 5 Royal is really crazy. Because there won't be spoilers, but pretty early into the game, you can unlock this Confidant, and he gives you an ability where at the start of the battle, there is a random chance you will just get an insane power buff at the start of the fight, and it's really broken.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. There's a few that actually work like that. They're really dumb, though.
Yeah, and there's also stuff with the show times that's also kind of dependent on RNG. Obviously crits, status effects, all that stuff. Very RNG dependent game. But once you get used to it, it's like what you said with the Pokemon, competitive Pokemon, but to a lesser extent, where you sort of just know how to trigger it at points to where it becomes like a second strategy you sort of try to cook up. At least
I mean, just always taking the odds into account. generally, if you have a 70% chance to hit this, then it'll be generally good play to go about it. But, if it's a 50-50, you're not going to risk it as much. Like, generally, as you know Buckshot Roulette. Do you guys remember that game?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love that game.
Yeah. That's how people would always be usually, like, viewing the odds while playing that game. Is like, you're usually only going to go and shoot when you, are in favor. You're not going to shoot as often when you're, like, it's only a 30% chance you hit. Because then you can lose your turn.
Yeah. I know I keep going back to Pokemon, but when you brought up that 50-50 thing, it reminded me of one of my favorite quotes from a YouTuber.
It's Wolfie, isn't it?
No.
Wolf Click?
No, it's not. Their name is MNJTV. Very essential part of my childhood when it came to Pokemon.
I love him. He was also part of my childhood.
Yeah, I still watch him every now and then. But there's this quote he used to say a lot when it came to Pokemon moves, and it was, if it's not 100%, then it's 50% in terms of move accuracy, and that is so accurate. Like that's.
I see what you did there. You're not getting past me, motherfucker. I see what you did there with your words.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I get what you mean. It's like RNG plays such a factor in that game, especially with like accuracy, that it can make or break like some turns.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, obviously, with moves like Guillotine and Blizzard, like, that's obviously different. But, when I've got a 95% accurate move, the amount of times I've had a 95% accurate move miss is insane.
I'm just remembering, I can't remember who it is, but that one player who, like, in Worlds, their Rotom Wash missed, like, 4 times in a row for a Hydro Pump and Will-O-Wisp.
Yes!
Wasn't that?
God,
I think that was
I know
Wolfie. I think that was Wolfie.
No, I don't think that was...
No, I don't think that one's Wolf Click.
That was Ray Rizzo, I think.
Yeah, Ray Rizzo. I think it is Ray Rizzo.
Oh,
yeah, because that was notorious.
So unfortunate.
Yeah, there's also the, like, Miraidon from this year that missed a very important Draco Meteor.
Yeah.
It's like lost him the game.
Yeah.
And like lost him a lot of money too, so like feels bad, bro. Feels bad.
Feels bad, man.
And then Aaron Zhang was another one who had a Will-O-Wisp miss like 3 times in a row.
Oh yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, they literally buffed Will-O-Wisp after that too, because they're like, yeah, that was pretty bad.
It's like, damn, bro. you ain't winning shit. You should not play Russian roulette.
Yeah, Aaron Zhang missed 1. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times that it missed.
Imagine being the person who coded Will-O-Wisp into the game. You put like 1 in front of a 0 and made it have like the accuracy it did, and that single like press of a button is what ruined one guy's like entire chance of winning an entire world championship. His fucking career, his entire legacy is based off those Will-O-Wisp misses, and it's all because some intern decided to press a 1 instead of a 0. Like, that's insane.
I don't know about an intern, but that is pretty funny.
It is.
But I will say that like that did also create a great moment. Like, yeah, that is terrible that happened to him, but I think more people remember that happening than like the actual person who won Worlds that year.
Yes.
That is true.
I think it's the same thing as like, yeah, exactly, or the same with like a lot of the Evo moments, especially like the really popular ones we all remember. Like, yeah, just Wong Daigo. Oh my god, that's crazy. Who actually won Evo that year though? Does anyone remember?
No.
Nope.
Exactly.
But
so hey, they may not have won the world championship and a lot of money, but now people meme on them on YouTube a lot. So you win some, you lose some.
Yeah. Another sort of thing I wanted to talk about with like is sort of going to that Rodom thing, or not Rodom, like the whole idea that RNG can make you win or lose, like literally. I think a great example of that actually is like Souls likes and Souls games like that when it comes to like boss RNG. And
wait,
like,
what do you mean? Like RNG with the AI, or like what do you mean?
With the AI and like what attacks they use.
How often they choose that one annoying attack that you can never dodge for
Yes.
some reason is what you mean?
I'm talking about Promised Consort Radon.
The
And
fight.
yes, I really like that fight too. But he has a few moves that he really likes to use.
Slash, double cross.
So yeah, especially in his his second phase is the RNG, like it literally is like if they use this one move, I am dead. Like in his second phase when he has the like meteor attack and then he does the 5 slashes after it, like that is absolutely like I never figured out how to dodge that. I was just like, all right, I pray to God, pray to the Elden Lord that I don't die here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, just other I feel like that's a very big part of like Souls games, of like at least when it comes to boss RNG, because
I wouldn't say just Souls games. I'd say just like any game with boss fights like that. Like, do you have your boss set to like always do a set pattern that the player can learn and like gradually completely counter over time?
well, yeah,
Or is there always some random element in there to where you have to like adapt but also react to what's happening?
yeah, I Souls games was really the only example that I could think of that came to my head, but you know, excuse
I
me,
think it's
a
also
lot
because they're
of
the most soul crushing, if you know what I
yeah,
mean.
I especially know that with my fight with Mesmer and how I think I literally that happened to me where I literally lost because I got RNG'd.
Let's say roguelikes as well, because like you can have a really good run, but then you get like a really shitty floor layout. You're not getting a lot of healing
roguelikes are
items.
an entire genre based on RNG.
Yeah,
Random floors, random weapons, random
Mm-hmm.
upgrades, random everything. Actually, the most consistent thing in that game, in those
is that
games,
it's random?
are that it's random and boss fights.
Yeah, that's true. Um, but like, have I ever told my Mesmer? I guarantee I've told the story about Mesmer on here and about.
Tell just in case.
Tell the tale of Mesmer the Impaler.
So, I had started Mesmer's fight about at 6 o'clock that day, and that entire time I had been in voice call with a Guy and Liam, fighting the boss and stuff like that. And it took me till I think 2 in the morning. It was 2 in the morning, and I had gotten Mesmer down to literally like I think 1 HP. Like I literally could not even see his health bar with how low HP he was. But the thing is, I was also on 1 HP and had no heals, and so I was playing as careful I could be. And Guy was there. He saw this happen. I went to go kill him, but his RNG had him use his quickest move available, which is the move he does when he brings his arm up and like has the flames follow. Like it was so fast that it hit me before my attack could, and we didn't even trade, so I never even got credit for it. And I was so sad and heartbroken that I stopped playing that night, and then I got up the next morning and got on call with Guy and I beat him.
You essentially got
As you walked in.
Daigo buried.
True. Yes, I got buried.
Instead of let's go Justin, Guy was like, let's go Connor. Oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Dude,
oh my god.
that's gonna stick in my memory forever.
Poor Connor.
Because Guy
Mesmer did Evo moment 37 on him.
Guy especially knows like how just I went completely silent. I was just not having it.
Yeah, but like that's the thing is that like a game like that has RNG elements with the AI, but like the moves are consistent. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
so it's not really bullshit in the sense of like you die to like a critical hit or something. It's more so like the game has to use AI to like pick what move it's going to use next. But those moves are always going to be the same moves, so like it's just a matter of like learning and like knowing how to adapt.
yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a game that does it pretty well. I want to talk about this game that I think does RNG pretty dang well for my experience, and that is Monster Hunter.
Yay!
Alright, guys, about to have a full-blown goon sesh. So...
Oh, you already
Either
know.
that, or he's gonna talk about how he didn't get a Rathalos plate for 5 hours.
Yeah. So here's the thing about Monster Hunter. The gameplay loop: you hunt the monster, you get the materials, you make the materials with armor, you use the armor and new weapons to fight bigger monsters, and then repeat. The thing is that the materials that you can get, however, are pretty random. Each piece has its own percentage chance of dropping from monsters. So like, let's say like a carapace or a scale from a monster typically is going to have a higher chance to getting because they're common drops. However, there are things called gems that each monster can drop that typically only has like a 5% chance of dropping and is required for like really powerful armor. And the thing is, like, oh, this could be, really boring. Oh, having to like grind these monsters over and over and over just to get the drops I needed. But the thing is that not only on repeated hunts are the hunts going quicker and quicker, but you're also getting gear that will help you, like you're getting materials that will help you later on. You're getting better at the fight and with your weapon as time goes on, but also just in case you need those materials, they're always going to be there. You're helping yourself in the future even though you don't realize it.
Yeah. Well, I think
Yeah.
too, just like having those percentages, like, is what makes it so enjoyable. Because like you're not always gonna get that like complete armor set just from doing the monster once. So like you need to keep going and going. Maybe you'll get lucky sometimes and get the gem you need. Other times you may need to fight the monster like 20, 30 times, possibly. But you know what? As you're doing that, you get better fighting the monster. The hunts go by quicker and quicker. You're getting even more materials for maybe even more weapons to try out. And just all around, you're having a good time.
Yeah, it's a fantastic time. So I mean, yeah.
Until the Rathalos doesn't drop his fucking plate after the 40th goddamn hunt.
Yeah, that can happen. But it's okay. It's okay. Another
Yeah, it's
game
okay.
that I feel like Another game that I feel like does this, but to a lesser extent, is the Borderlands series, and typically like some looter shooters. I feel like that's more of a statistical thing, though. Like when you're getting a new gun, it's more so you can do more damage, but the boss fight that you need to do to get the weapons, that you're going through over and over and over for, it's going to take the same amount of time. It's like once you learn the fight, you already know the fight, so it's kind of less engaging. So I'm kind of in the middle in terms of grinding when it comes to specifically those games. But people still enjoy it. I mean, I enjoy it. It's just I'm not one of those kind of people who enjoys grinding all the time to get what I want.
Yeah. I think looking at just random chance as well. I think we could look at it in some environments where it's like not viewed as as great of a light as we've been mentioning for these past games. But I think competitive games and like fighting games as well, people really don't like random chance, and usually for very good reason.
A game where you are fighting for something on the line, whether that be money, whether that be pride, whether that just be for your imaginary game points, anything that is random, people hate. That is why CSGO is a very popular game, because there's actually very little RNG in that game. The recoil pattern of every single gun is consistent. So whenever you shoot something, you have to move your mouse in a very specific way to counter the recoil. A lot of other games have random recoil, and that is why CSGO is so popular. That's one of the reasons. But CSGO also has a little funny thing called crates, and the Steam market for crates is so expensive, like so absurdly expensive, that there are like $60,000 items on there because of how rare it is, because of RNG, and the amount of money that people have spent on CSGO crates is in the billions. Or the millions, my bad. Not the billions, that would be insane.
I was about to say, that's a lot of damn money.
Oh my god.
Millions is still a lot of money, but like these knives can go for a shit ton of money. These guns get fucking stickers.
Yeah, well, I think one thing to look at it though is with CS:GO, there is that random element, but that isn't directly affecting the gameplay. I think while there is anger, obviously, of not getting the $1 million knife, because like, yeah, of course you want the fucking $1 million knife, but there's also more anger in like, let's say a fighting game. You're beefing with your friend, money's on the line, a whole crisp $20 bill, and that motherfucker up throws you in Smash and hits you with a Game & Watch side B, and you die at 30. That's where you really start to hate RNG. Yeah, or
Sometimes
at
it's
zero.
zero.
Even better.
Yeah, that happened to me. That's happened to me a few times. I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, because that is a competitive game. You do not want random elements in it.
Luckily, I have other ways of getting $20.
We know, Connor.
we trust. We know.
Yeah, after you paid me last week, I know you definitely know, Guy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I do. You're like, man, I keep getting my ass beat in Monster Hunter. You mind if I pay you $20? And I was like, what for? And the rest is history.
I mean, it's good you have that, because I was gonna say, if it's by winning Mario Party, then you will never be getting your $20 back.
Oh, yeah.
Mario Party fucking hates you, Connor.
Oh god, we got it. Oh, that's actually a great topic for RNG.
Oh god.
Okay,
Not that
we have
shit.
to
I hate that fucking game.
Okay, I'm now talking about this. We were playing Mario Party. We all met up and we played Mario Party, and it was quite literally the worst game of Mario Party I have ever played, and I still somehow got second, which just goes to show you how bullshit Mario Party is.
Mario Party is a game where like it's competitive, but it's not seriously competitive, so that when you do play it, like you're always expecting random elements, but that's what makes it fun. Like your friend shooting up from last place to second or first. Like, yeah, that was complete bullshit how he got a star for free. But at the same time, it's kind of funny.
Okay, I'm going to go further into this. That entire game, I had the lowest rolls imaginable. Anytime I'd get a star, either Bowser or the shitty fucking fourth player Daisy AI would steal it from me. I would use all my, because we were playing Peach's Birthday Cake, which is the worst map in the game, and then I would use all my coins on the piranha plants because maybe someone will land on them. Guess what? No one ever landed on them, so I never got my star back. And then I kept lowing roll. I kept having all my coins stolen. I kept never reaching the star or getting teleported or getting switched with the item block. And then somehow I got second from bonus stars because that game is ass.
This Mario Party is a piece of shit, and I hate that game.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I love that game.
That's because you always win.
RNGesus favors me.
Not when it comes to Pokemon cards.
Yeah, no, maybe not shiny hunting, but it's because I use all of it up in Mario Party.
Yeah, and then all my bad luck in Mario Party goes to me getting pulls in Pokemon cards with you.
Yeah, it all goes back to me.
So dumb. It's so dumb. But yeah, no, RNG definitely makes or breaks a game. For Mario Party, I feel like it adds to it. Because, like, God, I as much as I hate Mario Party, and I'm not gonna lie, it wouldn't be as fun as it is if it wasn't for RNG.
Yeah, well, I think that's one thing I do want to get back to, is just, like, with competitive games, like, that's why random elements are hated so much. Like in Mario Party, it's fine because it's not supposed to be a serious game. You're supposed to want to punch your friend when they get extra bonus stars and win the whole game. But like, let's say you're playing like Street Fighter 6, and let's say they add a new DLC character, and right after they lose, if they're on a certain percentage of health, they have a 1 in 3 chance of actually winning that round. due
I'd
to
kill
their
myself.
chance time. Yeah, no, people would hate that. That, or even with characters that like historically haven't been as good in some fighting games, like Hero and Smash Bros. Hero's never been all that great. Like, he's not a terrible character, but he's not been like super amazing. A lot of like states and whatnot actually did ban him for a little bit, just because
I think it
people
was
did not.
Australia. That was the big one.
Yeah, Australia was the big one, but that's not a state. That's a whole fucking continent.
It's funny.
It is pretty funny.
See, I really like Hero because he enables my inner gambling addiction without.
I like how Australia, the place that has like the most random fucking animals that can kill you instantly, wants to ban the random elements of Hero.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he is kind of like the animals there. He can just randomly kill you with whack, or he can use the charge up move that can shield break you in one hit. He can crit you and kill you in one hit. You know, he's actually kind of a lot like those animals there.
I'm waiting for the day that at a Smash Major, someone loses because Hero hit them with like whack at 0% and they got lucky.
I guarantee it's happened.
I'd kill myself.
I
would kill
guarantee
myself.
that's happened.
Not at a major, no. It's happened to some tournaments, but I very much doubt a major.
What was I about to say? I mean, if we're going to like fighting games with like RNG, I feel like this is actually a really funny story for Street Fighter V. There is I feel like this is where RNG is used the best because I feel like it's at its peak when it is a joke for a gimmick, not like a not something that can be game breaking like Game and Watch. But Dan in Street Fighter V, if anyone knows anything about Dan, he's a joke character. No one takes him seriously. He thinks he's a martial art master when he cannot even solo anyone in the Street Fighter universe. He's meant to be the joke character. He is not meant to be taken seriously at all. Well, it turns out in 5, Street Fighter 5 specifically, he had an infinite. Okay?
That's really funny.
He just had an outright infinite. And, of course, this needed to be patched out because, okay, we can't have an infinite in our game. It's very toxic, and it can raise people's results by, you know, not doing the things that are needed to be better at the game. But they didn't want to nerf Dan because normally he's not exactly the best character. So, okay, what do? I know we're going to add an RNG element to his Fireball, which was a part of the combo. So, they added something called Red Fireball to his Shoryuken, where this is how the infinite worked. The opponent had to be standing. So in fighting games, there are typically 2 types of positions when your opponent is getting hit. It's in standing position and launch position. In standing position, you have to do a move to launch a person into the air. But if you are able to find a combo extender that still leaves the opponent standing, then you're going to do a really big combo. But the thing is, with Dan, because he could link so many of his moves together in standing position, he was able to do this infinite. So they added Red Fireball to his his Hadoken, to his Hadoken. And how it worked is that it was like a 6% chance of activating, but essentially how it worked is when he used the Fireball, there's a chance that the Red Fireball would come out and it would launch the opponent instead of keeping them standed, meaning the infinite would end, yet he still, by technicality, had it, but it was RNG based.
Neato.
That's actually like really interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
And now that we've talked about all of the fun, awesome ways that RNG is used, let's talk about not so fun things. And
Gotcha.
specifically, gotcha games.
And
Gotcha
Game and Watch.
Probably. Alright, Guy, we know you don't like Game and Watch.
Gotcha games are literally just like it's literally just gambling.
Alright. Yes.
Gambling, but instead of winning money, you win a picture of a woman.
You win a character.
Yes, and they are also the most, I'd argue, the worst form of gaming, because it is literally, it is gambling that is legal. That is how it is
Yeah.
basically classified. You win imaginary characters that, depending on the game, do as much as just change what your character looks like to give you a new character, but it's locked behind random chance or money. Your
Wait,
choice.
hold on, Liam. You said it's like gambling but legal. Is gambling illegal? Have I missed something?
In certain countries, yes.
Yeah, in certain
Okay.
countries.
Okay. You know, the American
Well, and
mind.
also some forms of gambling. It depends. Like the lottery is only legal just because the government gets money from it.
The
And
American
That
mind.
helps
and it's
fund
also like
education.
minors can play gotcha games, but they can't go gambling.
Yeah. The American mind cannot comprehend not gambling 24/7. That's my fault.
Yeah. Well, anyways, gotcha games, most of them are mobile games because they're easier to make. They make a shit ton of money. They market themselves as free to play, but then put paywalls behind everything. And they love their little sunk cost fallacy where, damn, I spent money on this game. Guess I have to keep playing, which means I have to spend more money on this game because every single character, there is almost no way that the game is going to do this. Every single good character gets released as like a super rare limited 5-star that's only there for a certain amount of time. You have to gamble to get them, and then they leave, and then they come back every now and then like a couple months later, a new character comes out, but this character is even stronger, and so you need this one now. Some big examples of this are Fire Emblem Heroes, Dragon Ball Z Legends, Genshin Impact, any Hoyoverse game actually. All of them are very predatory, but the big ones right now are like the Hoyoverse games because they're super popular.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
like,
that I am thinking about it as well. You mentioned Fire Emblem Heroes and like characters getting stronger. Dude, power creep in Fire Emblem Heroes is insane because like I only tried it out like once when like it first came out. I remember I got like Marth, right? 5-star. It was really rare, and like he had some pretty good attacks, whatnot, some pretty cool effects. It was nice. Now, dropped the game after a while because I just wasn't super interested, and then I look at a tweet showing like one of the new characters and how like just one of their attacks had like 2 paragraphs of text explaining all the different effects it had on it. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, no, that stuff is crazy. I
Yeah, power
definitely,
creep is insane.
you know, back to like Liam in the like Hoyoverse games, there definitely are a lot more problems besides just the um gambling and the gotcha mechanics, but that's a very big problem with them.
yeah, it's usually 2 things are the problem with Hoyoverse games: gambling and whitewashing.
Yeah, whitewashing and diversity and stuff like that is a very big problem with those games.
But
Wait,
going back-
hold on. I'm actually not educated on this. What do you mean by that?
They
Okay, so they base
here,
a lot
no,
of their
guys,
characters.
let me do this.
Oh wait, we got the expert in here.
Liam's the resident Genshin player, so he can explain.
Yeah, unfortunately. So this is actually very timely. The newest region, Naland, is based on Native America, so like South America, Mexico, that kind of thing. It's based on certain areas of Africa and certain Middle Eastern places, and even some places in Asia. Comparatively, there are other regions that are based on Germany, Japan, China. So they took one country and made entire regions on it, and then for areas with a lot of like different cultures, very drastically different cultures, they'll mesh them together into one like jumble instead of, actively portraying the cultures correctly. And then to make matters worse, they take all of the aspects of the culture, the music, the clothing, the architecture, and then they make every single character pasty fucking white. And like when I say pasty white, I mean it would make me look like I had been out in the sun for like 10 days.
There's an even better example of this. There was a post, and a lot this happens a lot with Genshin characters, where they'll like compare different characters, and like they'll show like what are supposed to be the quote unquote darkest skinned Genshin characters, and like another character that isn't like dark at all, and they're somehow darker than the darkest Genshin characters. Someone did that with the new Genshin characters and Snow White, and Snow White had a darker skin tone. It was hilarious.
Yeah. So,
So
anyways,
like, are these
that is
regions
like
actually called like Africa or like like Nigeria or like these
no,
other countries?
but here's okay. Here's like the biggest example. One of the characters' names is Olobon, which is a direct translation to to an African god, and they took all of the inspiration from the African god, except for the skin tone. They took the culture from it, they took the religious meaning, and they took the backstory, and then they took away him being African, basically.
Sounds
Yeah.
like they failed the diversity check.
And it's not even that they took everything about it and then took away the color, which is like, and like people were like actively upset about it, and then other people would defend them and call them blackwashing, but you can't blackwash what's being whitewashed, and it's just like, it's the most insane thing, and it's never gonna change because
It's well, another reason is because it's Twitter, and Twitter is full of people who are lacking in certain brain cells.
yeah. Anyways, I'd probably be
Yeah.
able to talk about this more because it's like an actual like issue,
It's a very,
but
it's
that's
a
not
very
what the
big
point
issue.
of this is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
little
is-
side
well,
tangent
well,
about-
that's for a later video. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
but
is a topic for another video. But
the
it
problem
sounds like
with,
they, what's up?
the problem with Genshin, one of the main problems is their main focus is making characters, you know, and these characters have backstories, they have different abilities, they have a bunch of different things, and in order to get 90% of these characters, you have to gamble, and even if you gamble, you are not, and spend money. You can spend $100 on Genshin Impact and still not be guaranteed to get the character.
That's
Yep.
insane.
That is an egregious thing. They've made it a little better recently, but it's still gambling. So if you want a character, you either have to play the game for an absurd amount of time, get lucky, or pay money. And it is egregious, and it is predatory, and it is awful. But funnily enough, Genshin and like Hoyo first games are some of like the more like less lucky games. They just are also bigger games and have more unique characters. But certain games, you're never guaranteed. You're not guaranteed a fucking 5-star, 6-star, whatever, until like 500 rolls or something. It's insane how gacha games are legal.
Dude, I remember when Diablo Immortal came out, and like someone made like a parody version of it. It was like just a little gacha roll itself that you didn't have to spend money on to show how long it would take for you to get like a 5-star gem. And like you would have to spend thousands of dollars just to get like a single 5-star gem. It's like it's absolute fucking lunacy.
You could either spend 10,000 hours in the game or $1,000 in order to get like the same equipment.
Yeah. Or better option. Stop fucking playing it.
That's a very good point.
True. I
Um,
think, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
But
say.
yeah, that is, I think, like that is the dark side of RNG.
But I guess now is left maybe some quick concluding points or something.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, we kind of talked about like the nitty gritty of like RNG and like what are some of like good and bad examples of it. So I'll go first. I love RNG in video games, but I also hate it. I think it works better in a PvE situation, but I hate it when it's used in PvP because it kind of detracts a little bit of skill from it. And frankly, I feel like you like doing critical hits and using RNG for stuff like that creates like a very fun X factor. But I can take it or leave it if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. I think with RNG, like discussing it right now, I kind of just like taking a deeper look into like how much goes into games that the developers made for our enjoyment. Just like even something as simple as like in Pokemon, as like Pikachu using Thunderbolt. Like if you look at the Pokemon damage calculation, it looks fucking insane. You'd have an easier time understanding just fucking algebra instead in your math class versus like the Pokemon damage calculation half the time.
Yeah.
And then even
Which
other
is
stuff too,
insane.
just like again NPC movements, like just item drop rates, just any other thing in like RPGs as well, or even like other minor stuff that you wouldn't even think of in games. It's just crazy like how much those little actions can affect it. That or just like how the game's programmed to run it to where you don't even notice it, but it's like it's never truly random in a way.
Yeah. Liam, Connor.
Connor, Liam.
I can go, I guess.
Yeah, you go first.
I think RNG has a place in mostly single player or party or PvE. I think done well, it just can be one of the most funny, most enjoyable things. I love when I play fucking Bowser's Big Blast in Mario Party and I win just because I got lucky, or I lose in something because random chance. Like, it can be super funny, but it can also be dangerous if used with in tandem with money or financial gain or like personal gain. But overall, RNG in video games, pretty aight.
And I guess I'll quickly wrap up. RNG is, I think, necessary for obviously necessary for every games or every game, because there are just some things because if there's not even a little bit of randomness, I feel like stuff would become kind of dull and boring. But there does need to be some control over it, because it can get rampant, and it can get out of control. Gotcha games, as we talked about, great example. In fact, I feel like we'll probably do gotcha games as a video in the future to talk, because the problems with them deserve a topic in an episode all on their own. But overall, it's a really good feature of video games, but there are just a lot of problems with them. And like RNG is just necessary.
Yeah, I mean, with that being said, guys, RNG, good and bad. Just know when to point it out when it can be good and when it can be bad, because it can make or break a gaming experience. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you like this kind of content, please leave a like and subscribe, and comment down below a really bullshit moment where you got cheated out of a critical hit or a win because of RNG. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. We've been FetchQuest, and this has been our episode on RNG and video games. Thank you very much. See you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.